Here I have my basic application that I created with Create React App. I've run npm start to start the development server and open it up in a browser. To get a feel for how I want to break an application out into individual components, I like to start by mocking up a static version right in the JSX. And that's what we're going to do here. So I'm going to start by deleting this paragraph and I'm going to update this heading. And I'm just going to make it say React to-dos. And I'm going to save the file. And the browser will update, the body copy is gone, and our heading's been updated. So I'm going to start by creating a div that I'm going to wrap everything else in. And I want to give this div a class so that I can style it later. And you'll notice if we look at the existing code, we have class name rather than class being used as the attribute. And the reason for this is simple. Class is a reserved word in JavaScript. So we'll come down here and we'll give this div a class name, attribute, and we'll call it to-do-app. And with that in place, we can start building out elements for our to-do app. We need a way to enter new to-dos, so we'll start with a form. And I'll give that form an input of type text. And we'll see that we have our input displayed on the page. And under our form, I'm going to add another div, and I'm going to give this one a class name of to-do-list. And in that list, I'm going to add an unordered list. And each item in our to-do list will be represented by an li. So for now, I'll just put some placeholder names in for our tasks. So we'll say learn JSX, and then we'll duplicate that and add a couple more. And when I save this, the browser will update and we'll see our 3 list items displayed in the browser. And of course, we can't have a to-do app without the ability to mark items as complete. So let's add some checkboxes. So I'm going to jump up to this first item, and inside the li before my text, I'm going to add an input, and I'm going to give it a type attribute of checkbox. And I'm going to close this on itself, and I'm going to save this, and I just want to make sure when the browser refreshes that I see the checkbox as I expect. And now that I know that worked, I'm just going to copy this input and I'll paste it for each of the other to-dos. And now each to-do has its own checkbox. This is a pretty good starting point for breaking our application up into components, but it could look a little bit nicer. So let's add some CSS to clean it up. I'm going to open up app.css, and down at the bottom, I'm just going to paste in some styles. So you see I've added just a little bit of styling, starting with our parent div. I've changed the font size on the input and styled the list a little bit. So when we save this, we'll see it update in the browser, and now everything's nice and clean and lined up.